Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be doing a DA40 NG pre-flight inspection. We're going to be using the Oxford Saudi Flight Academy checklist to run through this inspection. Before we do get started using our checklist, we'll come out to the aircraft and it will be covered to protect it from the elements. It will be tied down. There will be a PITOT probe cover and also fuel vent covers to prevent any contaminants entering the systems. Prior to starting the checklist, we must remove those and safely store them inside the aircraft. Okay, so we've successfully removed the cover, the chocks, the tie downs, the PITOT probe cover and the fuel vent cover. Before we place them in the back of the aircraft, there are 3 documents in the back that we need to check. They're located on the back wall. So we're going to check for our radio license, our registration and our airworthiness certificate. The reason we're going to check these now before we add those things into the back of the plane is they will actually obscure the view and we will no longer be able to see the certificates. All right, so now we've placed those items in the back of the plane, we can go ahead and open the main canopy. When you do open the main canopy for the first time, you'll see the seat belts are still fastened and there's actually still a control wheel lock inside connected to the primary flight controls. We are going to go ahead and remove that and place that in the back as well as unlatch the seat belts. Once we've done that, we'll proceed with our checklist at item 1. Okay, so now we're ready to move through the pre-flight inspection flow checklist. We're going to be going line by line or item by item. So it is important we are oral when we do this. We say everything out loud and we double check. It is important you're nice and loud and clear so your instructor flying with you can also hear and verify that you've done the items. 1. MET, NAV, MAS and CG, flight planning completed. So we've already done that as part of our pre-flight procedures in the Academy building. 2. Airplane documents complete and up to date. Again, we checked those before we added the cover, etc. into the back of the plane. 3. Electric master off, pull out key. The electric master is here in the off position and the key is clearly not in there. I actually have the key here and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to reach over and hang it up, if I can get my fingers through, onto that hook. There we go, like that. So we both know where the key is. Front canopy, rear door, unlocked, key removed. Of course they're all unlocked because they're open and the key is removed and it's hanging on our peg there. 5. Front canopy and rear door clean and undamaged. So what we're looking for there is making sure that our windshield and windows are clean. In this environment, especially with all the sand and dust, it can very quickly lead to a dirty windshield, which can make it difficult to spot and see other aircraft. So it is important that we clean it off before we go fly. It's also not an excuse here if our windshield is dirty and our landings aren't very good. So make sure you clean off your windshield before we go fly. 6. First aid and survival equipment on board. So that's located in our blue box and we're checking both expiration dates. 7. Fire extinguisher, check. Again, located in the back and we're looking to ensure the needle is in the green range. Item 8, emergency AXE stowed and secured. That's located under the right side pilot seat and the reason we're securing it is it has a very sharp end. It's used to exit the aircraft in the event of an emergency in an off-field or off-airport forced landing. 9. Foreign objects, check. Foreign objects is just anything that isn't supposed to be in the aircraft, such as perhaps you've brought some food and drinks and you've not secured them in the plane. Anything such as your flight bag would not be classified as a foreign object because we need that for our flight. Item 10, headsets connect. We would connect our headsets in the central pedestal. There'll be 2 jacks, one for the microphone and one for the headphones. It is important we do connect those because we will test them once we turn on the electric master and begin our startup procedures. Item 11, environmental controls as desired. So in the aircraft, of course, we have our air conditioning that you know about from ground school, but we actually have a vent here and a vent over there that connects directly to the outside air. So environmental controls is really personal preference. If you want some warm air coming in, or in winter when it's nice and cool outside, if you want to keep the warm air inside, you would open or close it as desired. There is no right or wrong, it really is just personal preference. Item 12, baggage, loose items, tow bar, control lock, stowed and secure. So we've already placed those in the back. Item 13, controls and trim, free and correct. So we'll check our ailerons, elevator and rudder. We'll also bring the trim fully forward and fully aft. and then reset to trim takeoff. Item 14, rudder pedals adjusted and locked. So I'll pull forward on this cable, push them back with my feet, and once the rudders are in the desired position, I'll push on them to lock them in place. Item 15, parking brakes, select lock, pump brakes 3 times. So select lock, and on my toes, 1, 2, 3. Item 16, HOBBS meter, record time. Item 17, engine master switch off. So we'll remove this key for now, and we'll check the engine master is off. Item 18, VOTOR switch, check auto. Auto. Item 19, fuel valve, locked in normal position with the safety wire intact. Item 20, all electrical equipment off. Item 21, essential bus switch off. Item 22, avionics master switch off. Item 23, PITOT heat switch off. Item 24, fuel transfer pump off. Item 25, emergency horizon switch off, safety wire intact, so off, and the wire is intact. Item 26, circuit breakers, check all in. Item 27, alternate static valve closed. Item 28, alternate air control closed. Item 29, power lever, check condition, freedom of movement, full travel, and friction adjustment. Item 30, power lever idle. Item 31, electric master on. Item 32, G1000 database and initialization, check active. So we're checking our navigation. Item 33, primary flight display check on. Item 34, MFD engine display check. Item 35, warning and caution annunciations check. So these will appear here. Item 36, fuel quantity check, use alternate means. Item 37, fuel temperature check. Item 38, fuel calculator. That's what we were doing before. Item 39, flaps cycle set takeoff. So takeoff. Landing. And then back to takeoff. Item 40, PITOT probe, remove cover. Item 41, PITOT heat switch on, check hot, off. So we turned the PITOT heat on and exited the aircraft. We're going to make sure it's hot, which it is, and we're going to jump back in the aircraft and turn it off. Item 42, instrument, interior and exterior lights on, check. All right, we've exited the aircraft. We're going to check our lights for normal operation. So we're going to check our landing and taxi lights here. We're going to come to the wingtip, check our anti-collision or strobe lights, and then we'll also check our position or navigation lights. Once we've done that, we'll walk behind the aircraft to the other side and inspect the lights on the right wing. Item 43, instrument, interior and exterior lights off. Item 44, ELT, check. Item 45, PITOT heat, off, annunciation, clear. Item 46, electrical master off, key removed. Item 47, external pre-flight inspection complete. Item 48, passenger briefing complete. Left main landing gear. 1, landing gear strut or fairing visual inspection. Just making sure there's no bends or cracks in the structure. Item 2, wear, tread, depth of tire check. So this is these lines here. We're making sure that they are there and they're not worn away, such as a flat spot. Item 3, tire, wheel, brake, visual inspection. So we're just having a general look at the condition, verifying it's in good condition. Item 4, check for brakes, check for leaks. So the brakes are located in here. We're making sure there's no red fluid on the floor. We can also look behind and check the brake pads as well to make sure there's still plenty of material for us to work with. Item 5, slip marks visual inspection. Item 6, chocks removed. Left main landing gear complete. Left wing 1, entire wing surface visual inspection. So we're looking at the entire upper surface of the wing, making sure there's no dents or cracks, anything that might disrupt the airflow. Item 2, step visual inspection. This is the step. We're making sure it's secure and that the grip tape is in place. Item 3, air intake on lower wing surface visual inspection. So we're verifying or checking this air intake, which leads into the back of the aircraft, is clear. Item 4, openings on lower surface, check for foreign objects and traces of fuel. So any openings, we're just having a look. It's specifically talking about this point here, and there is a note saying if the fuel tank is full, there might be fuel draining out. Item 5, tank drain. Drain to check for water and sediment. We'll complete that after our pre-flight inspection flow. Item 6, stall warning, check function. The stall horn is here, and what we would do is cover it over and suck on it to make sure it is working as we're working correctly. Item 7, tank filler, check closed. So we got a tank filler or fuel cap up here, making sure it's closed first and then secure per item 8. Item 9, tank air outlet on lower surface visual inspection. So we're going to crouch down and we're going to make sure that everything is clear right here. There shouldn't be anything blocking it. Item 10, PITOT probe clean, orifice clear, attachment secure. So the PITOT probe is here. We're making sure that there is nothing inside here and that the cover has definitely been removed. Of course, we have already checked that. Item 11, taxi landing light visual inspection. These are these lights here. If this is really dirty, we could give it a clean, but really what we're looking for is that there's no cracks or anything on here that will obstruct the lighting. Item 12, winglet visual inspection. Winglet is located here, and we're just going to give it a quick tug to make sure it is secure. You can see it's secured by these bolts. Item 13, position light, strobe light visual inspection. These are located here. So we're just making sure it is secured. Again, there's no cracks. Item 14, tie down, check clear. So the tie down is indeed clear, and we trail it back behind the aircraft so we can see it from the cockpit. Item 15, 2 stall strips on the wing, visual inspection. So we have one stall strip here that will allow feeling over the aileron, and we have a bigger stall strip here that will cause the aircraft to stall at the wing root rather than the wingtip, of course. Item 16, ailerons linkage visual inspection. So for the ailerons, we're going to crouch down here first of all, and we're going to have a look at the main hinge there, making sure it's secured and there's nothing bent or cracked. We can take the time now to have a look in here as well and make sure it's clear. And then as we move down the aileron, we can check out the hinges and make sure that there's no cracks in the hinges. So we're going to check the hinges also, and this aileron looks good. So item 16, ailerons and linkage visual inspection, we've completed that. We've also completed item 17, we've checked the hinges and the safety pins. Item 18, foreign objects inside the aileron panel, visual inspection, we also checked that. Item 19, trim tab visual inspection. So the trim tab is located here. This isn't something we can adjust as pilots, this is set by maintenance, so we're just checking it's there and in place, we're not actually going to touch it. Item 20, flap linkage visual inspection. So this is the whole flap here. Firstly, just give it a quick tug to make sure it is held in place, and then we want to crouch down and have a look underneath at all the linkages. So we've got one there, we've got one here, and then we've also got pins the whole way along. So we're going to check each pin and make sure there's no cracks in the pins. Item 21, hinges and safety pins, visual inspection. Item 22, static discharger, visual inspection. So the static discharger is located at the end of the wing here, and we're just making sure it's in place and attached to the wing. So that concludes the left main wing inspection. It's now complete, and we'll move on to the fuselage. Fuselage, left side. Canopy, left side visual inspection. So this is the canopy here. We're going to check the window, and then we're also going to check out the pins inside, making sure there's no cracks. Item 24, door lock unlocked, key removed. We've already hung the key up on our handy peg. Item 25, rear cabin door and window visual inspection. Again, we've already inspected that there, making sure there's no cracks. Item 26, fuselage skin visual inspection. So this is all the fuselage back here. We're just making sure there's no dents, tears, or cracks in the skin. Item 27, antennae visual inspection. So we've got 2 antennae up here. We just want to check they're secured. Item 28, static source, check for blockage. So we're actually moving just up here, and we're going to verify the static port is clear. So some aircraft, there is actually a static port, I guess, cover you can put in. We don't have them here, but do make sure there isn't anything stuck over this, otherwise our instruments won't work properly. And that completes the fuselage left side inspection. Empennage. Item 29, stabilizers and control surfaces visual inspection. So we got the vertical stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer, as well as 2 primary flight controls. We've got the rudder and we've got the elevator here. So now it's just a great time to check those out on this side, and as we flow around the aircraft, we'll check the other side. Item 30, hinges, visual inspection. We've got a rudder hinge down here we want to check out. We've also got a hinge joint up here we want to look at. And then coming up to the elevator, our main joint is here. So again, we can move it and check that it looks normal. And all we're looking for is just any abnormalities, so any cracks, dents, something that you just don't think looks normal. Item 32, rudder trim tab visual inspection. So we have this tab here. Same as the aileron, it's not something we control. We're just checking that it is in place. Item 33, tie down, check clear. So we trail it out to one side so that the pilots from the cockpit can look back and see it without exiting the aircraft. Item 34, tail skid and lower fin visual inspection. So we've got this area in here. This is the lower fin and the tail skid painted red. We're going to look up underneath it and make sure the whole red base is intact. If it isn't, it might suggest a tail skid and maintenance would be required to inspect it. Item 35, static discharges we got here. And once we've done that area there, we can move along the entire elevator and we can come to the other side. So as we do that, we're going to check out the rudder trim, the elevator trim tabs, the hinges and safety wires. And then we're going to have a good look at this side of the rudder, this side of the elevator, and then we've got this side of the horizontal stabilizer, and then this side of the vertical stabilizer. And that concludes the empennage checklist. Fuselage right side. Item 36, fuselage skin visual inspection. Item 37, static source, check for blockage. Item 38, rear window visual inspection. Again, if there's someone flying in the back, it is a good idea to clean this so they can see out and help spot traffic. Item 39, canopy, rear side visual inspection. So again, canopy up here, we're just checking out that it looks normal. The hinges from this side look normal. Fuselage right side, inspection complete. Inspection, item 1, flap and linkage visual inspection. So give it a tug, crouch down, check out any of the hinges and linkages, making sure they look normal and there should be no cracks or nothing should be bent. Item 2, flap hinges and safety pin visual inspection. Item 3, aileron linkage visual inspection. So we're moving up to the aileron here. We're just checking out the aileron itself and the linkage here. Item 4, aileron hinges and safety pin. We're also checking out the hinges here, for example, with the safety pins. We're making sure that everything is intact. Item 5, foreign objects and aileron paddle visual inspection. So we're just double checking there's nothing blocking it, as that would obviously hinder our aileron movement. Item 6, winglet visual inspection. So we're coming around to here, making sure it's secure. Item 7, position light, strobe light visual inspection. So we're just checking out the housing, making sure it's held in place. Item 8, tie down. We're going to check that it's clear and trailing back so that we can continue to see it from the cockpit. Item 9, entire wing surface visual inspection. Item 10, 2 stall strips on the wing, visual inspection here, and we've got one at the wing root, which we can actually check out here in a second. Item 11, tank air outlet on the lower surface visual inspection. So we've got a fuel vent here, which we want to check out, and it's permissible that some fuel is draining out, the tank is full, and we've also got another vent just right there. We're just making sure that it's clear. Item 12 and item 13 is the tank filler and fuel cap. So we're going to visually check it, and we're going to make sure it's secure here. Item 14, openings on the lower surface, so we're going to move towards the wing root, and we're going to just check the 3 openings, 1, 2, and 3, making sure that they're clear and normal. Item 15, tank drain, which would come from here. We're going to do that after we've completed our pre-flight inspection flow. Item 16, step visual inspection. And lastly, item 17, static discharges, visual inspection. And that is the right wing inspection complete. Right main landing gear inspection. Item 1, landing gear, strut or fairing visual inspection. Item 2, wear, tread, depth of tire check. Item 3, tire, wheel, brake visual inspection. Item 4, brakes, check for leaks. I'll check the pad. Item 5, slip marks visual inspection. Looks good. Item 6, chocks removed. Right main landing gear inspection complete. Front fuselage inspection, engine oil level check dipstick. So the engine oil is in here. So we'll unscrew it and we'll bring out the dipstick to check. It should be a minimum of 5 liters of oil. So we can check that on the dipstick there, and we can see that it is above 5 liters. Item 8 is the gearbox oil level check. So the gearbox oil is tucked away right in the back of this housing here. So when you do your inspection or pre-flight inspection with your instructor, they will show you that on the pre-flight. Item 9, cowling visual inspection. This whole area here is the cowling, so we're just checking there's no dents or cracks. Item 10, 4 air intakes on the front of the cowling, check. So we've got our turbocharger and intercooler, making sure it's clear. Our heat exchanger. We've got our gearbox cooling and our cabin heat. So we're just making sure they're all clear. Item 11, 2 air intakes on the right-hand fuselage cowling, check. So we've got 2 air intakes here. We've got 1 for the front vent, and we've got our engine air intake. Item 12, 1 air intake on the left-hand fuselage side. This is this here. This goes into this vent, so we're going to check that. Item 13, propeller visual inspection. So we're checking the leading edge of all the propellers, and we're also going to check the rear surface, making sure there's no blisters or cracks in the propeller. And we would do that for each propeller until we're satisfied the inspection is complete. Item 14, spinner, including attachment screws visual inspection. This is the spinner, and we're just checking out all the screws, making sure it looks normal. Item 15, nose gear strut visual inspection. So we're going to crouch down and we're going to check out the nose wheel strut, just making sure it looks normal. Item 16, tire and wheel visual inspection, as well as check slip marks. So the slip marks look like they're on this hand side here, and we've got our slip marks right here. This is actually a brand new tire. We can see with these, I guess, these pieces of rubber sticking off the tire. Item 17, wear, tread, and depth of tire, we've checked. Item 18, wheel fairing, visual inspection. We don't have those. Item 19, tow bar removed. Item 20, chocks removed. And the last item is item 21, exhaust visual inspection. So we're going to move over to this side, and we're just going to check the exhaust, make sure it is secure. And that's the front fuselage inspection complete. Underside inspection. 1, antennas visual inspection. So we have 5 antennas we're looking at here. We've got the ADF at the back left. We've got the marker beacon on the right, back right. We've got the double fin in the middle, the TAS. And then we've got our transponder and our DME. So we're just checking they're all in place. Item 2, gascolator pull down on drain to check for sediment. The gascolator is here, and we will sump the tanks after we've completed our pre-flight inspection flow. 3, venting pipes check for blockage. Clear. Item 4, fuselage underside, check for excessive contamination, particularly by oil, fuel, or other fluids. So it should just look quite clean and white. And that concludes our underside inspection. So that concludes our pre-flight inspection flow with the Oxford Saudi checklist. We are now ready to get in the aircraft and begin our startup clearances, get our flight clearances. We're ready to go fly. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the flight line soon.